Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. We're streaming to you live on yorbamedia.com and broadcasting to you from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM Clear Channel studios. All right, new man to the show, Jeff Bird, Director of Sales, Zscaler. And Jeff, welcome to the show. How are you?
Very good, Michael. Thanks for having me today.
All right, my pleasure. All right, Jeff, if you could, you are in the number one hottest sector worldwide. Everybody is trying to hack and steal and lie and cheat, and you keep that from happening as much as you can. Tell us about yourself, a little bit about you, so our audience gets to know you, and then what Zscaler does.
Well, absolutely. Well, you hit it right on the nail. I mean, the internet. I mean, everybody comes in and out of the internet through a single pipe, and believe me when I say, there's hot, cold, and sewer water coming through the internet every day, and it's my company's job to make sure to deliver, clean hot water and clean cold water to the people who are supposed to have it, and to keep the sewer water out. What I've been doing over the past 20 years of my career in data communications and networking is, and in the past 15 years with IT security has been helping folks, help secure their networks, whether it be through, different techniques, point products, coming up with different solutions regarding, from the firewall through data leak prevention to, proxy servers, authentication. Worked for a number of organizations in the past, including Blue Coat, McAfee, Sophos, most recently before Zscaler.
Yeah, looks to me from reading about your background, you've got quite the pedigree because some of your partners are major players here: AT&T, Nike, Tektronix, Microsoft, Costco, Amazon, Starbucks. You're protecting all these people.
Certainly Zscaler has over 4,500 customers.
Okay, that gives the audience a scope of your company. Yeah, please.
Oh yeah, I mean with Zscaler. We are the world's largest cloud security service out there on the planet.
Nordstrom is a big deal down here in Dallas, and you are you protecting their numbers? I mean, their people.
Right now, not with Zscaler. I've worked with them in the past as part of my bio goes. But I've had the opportunity most recently to listen to a wonderful presentation from the VP of IT from United Airlines, Mike Kenoff, who was recently at the RSA Security Conference in San Francisco, and he did a fantastic presentation about how Zscaler was able to protect 40,000 users basically coming up in one weekend, and his big metrics was 0 flight delays.
That's a big deal.
That's an airline. That's where the rubber meets the road. And
yeah, zero.
He really was very gracious with his time with me, and also from United's perspective, a phenomenal reference.
Okay, well, so you've got 12 million users, 4,500 companies, 183 countries that you're doing business with, and 13 billion web transactions per day to keep track of.
That's a big deal. 13 billion web transactions?
Yeah.
That's actually more than the entire total of Google, Facebook, and Twitter combined on a daily basis. Because when we get a company like a United, pretty much all of their web traffic goes through the Zscaler cloud for security processing. So any type of web transaction, web lookup, per se, that the company would be doing with their CRM or just casually looking at any type of Google lookup, that is all brought through the Zscaler cloud for security processing, and our cloud proxies the internet in 110 different locations around the planet. Nobody else comes close.
So have you have partners like Akamai or?
No, not really. I mean, Akamai is, what they do is a content distribution.
Right.
What we would do is if it's web traffic coming in and out of one of our customers, we would make sure that particular web traffic didn't have any bots. And those are the worst right now. No bad cross-site scripting attacks or guys trying to do a port analysis on our customers or any type of malware coming through. We make sure that the traffic is clean, as I said before, that we take in the internet, which is nothing, all things good happen on the internet and all things bad happen on the internet. And we take that pipe and make sure that it's clean for our customers.
Let's talk about the IT security technology, because there's something that you do that makes you, the company that you are. Can open that up for us a little bit, the separation here between you and the crowd.
It is the cloud. And, the thing about Zscaler that excites me the most is the way we liberate our customers from having to, quite frankly, deal with all of these security appliances.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about the IT data center, really, it's the last Sebastian. This is the last hurrah, the Alamo, you might say, where, IT directors and CIOs are very comfortable in many ways with the cloud as far as leveraging their compute, allowing, to set up, servers in the cloud and have their users use that. Storage in the cloud is widely accepted. But now security has always been this thing where, all the IT security directors and CIOs have hung on to. And what security really looks like at the end of the day, Mike, it's a big rack of point products. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing mystical. It's nothing magic about it.
Well, let me steer this a little.
A lot of hard work, and we relieve the folks from having to actually support all of that equipment.
Jeff, let me steer this a little way in a little different direction here. Zscaler is looked at as the most visionary of leaders in this space.
Correct.
Why is that statement made about Zscaler? You've got to have separated yourself from the crowd, not the cloud, but the crowd, to be able to garner that kind of an accolade about your company. So open that up for us. Bring that out. Why are you so much different than everybody else that people would say this about you?
It's a no hardware, no software solution to web security. Mm-hmm. And with us being distributed in 110 different data centers around the world, we can offer a very low latency experience for all of our customers and provide that security processing that the customers don't have to backhaul that traffic to headquarters anymore, particularly if it's just web traffic.
Well,
I don't want to get too technical with it, but it's really the no hardware, no software approach that separates us and helps our customers alleviate the need to basically support with their full-time equivalents all of this, hardware, whether it be at the data center, at the headquarters, or even a lot of folks will say worse, is distributing a lot of that hardware. So then now you have to support hardware all around the world or all around the country. And that becomes very
capital intensive
for folks.
Yeah, I would think that would be very capital intensive on multiple levels. So you're able to actually have better margins for your company and thereby better pricing for your clients. Did I get that one right with what you guys were doing with this type of technology?
Well, I think we you can harvest money, if you're a company, to pay for our service, because you can look at reduced full-time equivalent costs, because now they don't have to babysit the URL filter, the proxy server, the bot filter, the malware filter, the data leak prevention. I mean, all these different point products that are in that security rack. Now they can have their smart people spend time on policy and gathering the reports, which is where those smart people's time should be. You also, can save and harvest money from the standpoint of not having, just all of those contracts, and then having to be hamstrung a lot of times by wanting to turn features on, such as SSL. Whenever you see the web link come up with an HTTPS type of configuration when you go to your bank or some type of financial organization, that can be very hard for a lot of appliances to do when it comes to delivering web policy on that. Mm-hmm. And that's where in the cloud we alleviate that kind of need for our customers.
Let's do this, Jeff. There's more I want to talk to you about. The milestones in 2013, your 2014
Hmm.
look. Let's take a break now and come back on the other side with more content about you, your company, and the industry sector. How about that?
Outstanding. Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome. All right, Jeff Bird, Director of Sales, Zscaler, ZSCALER.com. And special thanks to Monk Media and 1-800-PublicRelations.com for all their PR and media support. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host, coming to you live from the KFXR 1190 AM Clear Channel Dallas studios, streaming to you on our website, yorbamedia.com. On the show, I've got Jeff Bird, Director of Sales, Zscaler. All right, Jeff, welcome back to the segment. Appreciate that.
You bet.
All right. 2013, let's start this segment off with some of the milestones for the company so everybody can kind of get an idea of what you've accomplished recently. And then if you could, I'd really like to know what you see in the future.
Well, really, as I see the future, I mean, it's just more about software as a service. It's more about web traffic. It's, I sat through a presentation most recently this past fall with the former CIO of a Home Street Bank. It's an outfit here in the Pacific Northwest, and he was talking about how the role of a CIO has changed so dramatically over the past, 10 years. Whereas, of the 150 applications, software applications that the bank was using, one, Mike, was one that they actually supported, where he had developers and programmers. Where, he was saying, 10 years ago or more, he would have a fleet of folks supporting applications. This is the same type of thing where the future is going. I also had a chance to speak with Michael Cockrell, the CIO of the state of Washington, and he is just, the state of Washington is a cloud-first state. We look to the cloud first for a solution. We look to SaaS first, software as a solution, to help our agencies and the government folks. But that's where the future is going. And as you add more and more web traffic out there, that's where the boogeyman resides. That's where everything good resides and everything bad resides. And that's where, where Zscaler is a disruptive technology, is a way of for folks to really embrace that web traffic and feel comfortable, that cloud security is not an oxymoron, and that it's for real, and that it doesn't have to absorb so many cycles and dollars within an organization. Our service is a complete OpEx type of service. There's no capital involved. It is a complete service.
I'm really unfamiliar with that term disruptive technology actually means when it comes to your space. Can you explain that to me?
Well, more again, particularly when you're looking at, I don't mean to get too technical, but large companies, they will develop these large networks with the intention of having a hub and spoke. They develop these large networks on these MPLS type of networks. I do some talks around trade shows. These, multi-protocol label switching networks were never really designed for web traffic. They're put out there for the company's 3270 applications that were on the frame relay network that are now on the MPLS network. I mean, the funky applications that an organization can never get rid of. They're for the voice type of applications that are very latency sensitive and deterministic when it comes to, unified communications, and for ERP type of things. The advent of having all this web traffic now being, and these SaaS applications being mainstream, it's not that the internet is going enterprise. The internet has gone enterprise, Mike.
I had
And
to, Jeff. I've had some calls coming in, come in from texting some questions from the audience. Let me throw a couple of these things out there.
sure.
One of our guests wanted to know, how big is the market? I mean, obviously everybody's really concerned about IT, but how big is the market in like dollars and cents? And what does an average company, or there is no average company, but what do companies spend to cure this issue?
Sure. I believe that the secure web space, the secure web gateway space that Gartner covers us on, by Peter Firstbrook, who is our analyst, you might say, he's out of Toronto. I believe it's a $2.3 billion space that we share with the likes of the Cisco's and the WebSenses and the McAfee's. Oh goodness, just in the leader quadrant, and also Blue Coat. I mean, those are some outstanding organizations, and it's a huge market, and in the secure web gateway space.
And what do the companies normally spend on something like this? I know that changes depending on the size of the company, but is this becoming a major spend relative to the rest of the percentages of costs that go out to keep a business up and running and competitive?
Well, there's a distinct line in the sand. Okay, when a company goes out to get their compute from the cloud, when a company goes out to get their storage from the cloud, when a company is either doing a public, private, or hybrid type of cloud, I don't care. Whatever the contract is, there's a line in the sand that says if you get hacked, it's your problem.
Right.
Sorry, it's been a nice day.
It's more expensive to try and cure the problem than prevent it. I get it.
Well, of course, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? So, that's the you got there is no web, there is no cloud, without security, you're going to have no mobile communications, no work at homes, because that doesn't make sense from a pure security standpoint. But the internet is here; it's here to stay. These SaaS applications are what organizations are wanting as opposed to developing themselves. And, the economics of using the cloud is just so compelling that organizations have to.
Let me jump to another subject too, because I know that your company has a real game changer on its horizon here. Your S1, you're going public. You've done some wonderful work up to this point that's given you the wherewithal to go do that. It's not cheap. It's when it comes to manpower or money. So if you're going to take that next step and put that effort into filing the S1 and going public, I'd like to hear more about what's going on that side with you.
Well, I really can't say much about that, of course. However, it's no secret that it has been announced from the organizational standpoint that we are investigating, and hopefully within 2014 or soon afterwards, we would be looking at taking the organization to Wall Street.
Okay. When you say Wall Street, are you talking big board, NASDAQ? Is there some kind of preferred place where you might, and there's other exchanges besides just the New York Stock Exchange? So what do you is there any? I mean, if you can't talk about it, don't. But I mean, I just thought I'd ask the normal questions anybody would want to know.
I just can't say anything about that kind of stuff, Mike.
Okay. All right. Congratulations on.
But no, the outfit's doing great. We've been able to. We have 4,500 customers, as I mentioned before. We do more web transactions than all the big name folks out there on the web. It is our mission to keep your network, your web traffic safe. And we believe we can do that better than the organization can, because this is what we do. Other organizations, that's not their, they're out there to sell their own widgets. Mm-hmm. And IT is a cost center. With Zscaler, this is what we do. This is what we believe in. This is where we know the future is going, and that is to, more and more web traffic. And in order to protect that web traffic, it's imperative that folks, look at the feature set, understand that. I mean, from one of our largest customers, we did a CIO report recently. I can't say who they are, but they are
Jeff,
They are yes, sir.
I hate to interrupt you, but we're out of time. I want to thank you so much for taking all of the time that you have today and coming on to our show. I really appreciate that.
You bet, Michael. Anytime.
Thank you. All right. Jeff Bird, Director of Sales, Zscaler, Zscaler.com. All right. And I want to thank everybody else who's participated with us in today's show. Not only Monk Media, 1-800-publicrelations.com for all their PR and media support, too. We'll be right back on the other side of this short break with another hour. We're going to bring on Reuters, CNBC, our man Kenny Palcari on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, Todd Johnson, Dividend Lab, and David Shaheen. We're going to talk about a lot of things that are currently happening in the market right now, the liquid part of our show. We'll be right back.